Welcome to Ambiente Trends 2020, presented by style bureau bora.herke.palmisano. The first one is called Shaped and Softened. So we instantly dive into a world of warm colors. We find a slightly colder white here, but also some beige and grayish and nude tones that really describe this trend very well. The loss of color is really nothing bad here. We're not missing out because we have a strong focus on materials. We have satin glass here, for example, but we also look into materials such as linen and also a lot of ceramics. This is a really good example of the form we're speaking about. So we have a Turkish designer called Defne Kos who designed this object for nude, and it has a very organic but also quite clear lines that we're looking at. Another trend we're seeing is a strong approach on quality. So with the German designer Clad Objects here, who are for the first year presented at Ambiente Fair. And they only produce in limited quantity, which has a strong focus on sustainability. And that is really one of the topics the trend Shaped and Softened stresses. It's really necessary to say that this trend is not meant to be boring. So we have multifunctional, even playful objects. For example, this object by French designer Frédéric Gauthier is both a vase and a stool and can be used inside and outdoors. When we look at textiles, we also see a strong approach on quality, but also the need that these objects are meant to be used and not just decoration. When describing the trend Shaped and Softened, bora.herke.palmisano used words such as sculptural, sensory, organic, natural and voluminous. And that really is a good description of what Shaped and Softened is all about. The second Ambiente 2020 trend that bora.herke.palmisano defined is called precise and architectural. And what's really interesting here is that really material defines the color we see. So with distinctive, elegant and dark colors, rusty shades, brown nuances. And also this is really a lot about tradition, but also always with a modern twist. A good example for that is Norman Foster's collection for Stelton. It is timeless yet modern because it has a very organic shape. And we really speak about material here. We see wood, we see steel, we see metal. This is also a good example from Scandinavian label Broste Copenhagen, who decided to show this share in a very bold color, but it's very elegant. When we speak about textiles, we look at boucle and tweed, so everything that's quite heavy. And precise and architectural is also very clever, yet timeless. A good example for that is this stool that used a Japanese technique. So they burn the wood, and that makes it water resistant and timeless. The words that best describe this collection are minimalistic and judicious, timeless and really redefined. The third ambiente trend is called artistical and diverse. And what's really important here is that everything is allowed. So the trend finds its inspiration in the free spirit of art. We see strong colors, a bright red, coral, orange, grass green, everything is allowed. And also, what's really interesting here is that the boundaries between art and design disappear. We have, for example, this lamp by Xerox that's made from paper, and that really shows that everything is possible. And then also down here we find a table lamp by Vista Alegre that could also be an art object. For example, when you look at this table, you find mix and match and a lot of patterns on the porcelain and plates. And one object that really describes this trend well is this vase by Umberto De Mata. It's handcrafted and very experimental in its form and in its colors. The whole trend is very unconventional. It's multifaceted, it's creative, it's diverse and always rich in detail. And that was our 2020 Ambiente Trends. Thank you.